So Kerry 319, Mayo 13 points. Kerry have absolutely demolished Mayo at Croke Park. I mean, this is an absolute pasting, an absolute hammering. I mean, they have humbled Mayo here with an absolute hammer and a 15-point win in the end for Kerry, and a huge, huge statement ahead of the All-Ireland series now up and coming. Kerry, without doubt, the favourites for the All-Ireland. I mean, unquestionably have the best players, one of the best managers in Jack O'Connor. Defensively, they look good as ever. Their goalkeeper looks very good. I mean, forwards, they have players like David Clifford, who is just exceptional. Gavin White getting forward, probably the best wing back since Jack McCaffrey. Mayo, on the other hand side of things, absolutely atrocious in this game. I know they have a lots of injuries. I know they have a lot of players missing, but their performance was terrible. Off the post, they hit the post 6 times in the game, which must be a record at Croke Park at this stage. I don't know what's going on with them with the post, but a terrible, terrible performance by Mayo. And this is the live match reaction. Here we go. Yeah, so it was Kerry 319, Mayo 13 points, as we said there. Very comprehensive and comfortable win in the end for Kerry. Very, very poor stuff from Mayo, make no question about it. But Viable says there, welcome back. I am back indeed. And Kerry, very comfortable, very, very comfortable. I mean, this was a dominant display by Mayo, who just never really got into the game at all. You know, first kind of opening 10 to 15 minutes, both sides were sort of going at it blow for blow. But, you know, it was very, very evident in the first half how poor defensively Mayo were set up. I mean, Kerry were just slicing them open like a knife to butter. It was just comfortable. I mean, Paddy Clifford had 2 goal chances, which were excellently saved by Rory Byrne. Excellent bit of play, obviously, from from Gavin White, breaking down on the left-hand side, plays it into Paul Gainey. Rory Byrne gets his hand in, gets the save in, but it falls back to Gavin White, who just palms the ball into the empty net. And Kerry were just dominant, and Mayo just couldn't live with Kerry's forward play at all, whether it was David Clifford. Paddy Clifford was opening up Mayo time and time again. Darren Moynihan was absolutely brilliant. Paul Gainey was brilliant as well. And Mayo were just all over the place, just absolutely all over the place. And look, you know, I know Mayo are missing Paddy Durkin, Robbie Henley, no Oisin Mullen in there as well. No Owen McLaughlin. You've got 4 probably big players that would usually be in Mayo's defensive line. You know, but they just didn't really look too good. Padraig O'Hara was okay at times, I felt, but at the same time, David Clifford scores 1-6 and absolutely rinses him for the goal. And even Padraig O'Hara, to be fair, probably puts his hands up there and says, look, what else can you do against a player of that talent? You know, he completely turned them inside and out. And, you know, Kerry just have so many options in their arsenal that even if David Clifford is being man-marked and is maybe, you know, being taken out of the game, which he wasn't, to be fair. He was in this game by every stretch of the imagination. He was absolutely brilliant. But they just have so many options in their attack. You know, Paul Gainey with 5 points. Adrian Spillane was very impressive at times as well. Stephen O'Brien kicked the point and was lively on the ball and was causing problems for Mayo. And they were just brilliant going forward, and defensively as well. They've just improved massively. I think they conceded 1 goal in 7 games in the entirety of the league. 1 goal in 8 games, I think it is in total. So that just goes to show how much they have improved defensively. And the idea of getting Paddy Tally in there has worked massively. It really, really has. And sometimes you don't see those, you know, sort of principles coming in there, or the sort of impact that these coaches can have on teams. You know, sometimes maybe it'll take a couple of years, or maybe it won't happen in the league. Maybe it will happen in the All-Ireland series. You look at Tyrone last year. But for Kerry, they have hit the ground running under Jack O'Connor and under Paddy Tally, who's come in there as well. And Obviously they got beat by Tyrone last week, but look, they put up a real statement. This was a real statement of a 10th from Kerry, and you would look at it and think how, it's harder for them not to win the All-Ireland than it is to win it. You know what I mean? Like it really is. You're looking at them and thinking, how do they not win the All-Ireland this year? They've improved defensively, probably have one of the best defenses in the country, statistically speaking, this year. They've one of the best attacks in the country in terms of statistics this year. They had the best defense in Division 1 and the best attack. Midfield, they look solid as well with Jack Barry and Jeremy O'Connor. Could still have Stefan O'Cumber to come back in. You've also got, who else am I thinking of there? David Moran maybe to come back in at some stage. Sean O'Shea, of course, to come back into the forward line. So Kerry are just looking very, very good. And it's hard to see them not winning the All-Ireland. You feel like surely 2022 is the year that they get over the line and they end this sort of mini drought that they're on since 2014. For Mayo, a massive setback. I mean, look, I know they will be looking towards the Connacht Championship and the All-Ireland. The Galway isn't too far away. And as we said in the intro, a lot of injuries. Tommy Conroy, Robbie Henley, Paddy Durkin, Jordan Flynn goes off injured in the second half. You just don't have that same sort of energy in your attack with some of those injuries. No Jeremy O'Connor for Mayo as well. So there's a lot of players missing there, but generally the performance was just very, very poor. They just weren't at the races today. Sloppy passes. The movement wasn't quite there. They couldn't get in behind Kerry at all. Don't even think they had a goal chance at all. Aidan O'Shea, he won a couple of frees. But other than that, you just don't really know what he brings to this Mayo team, to be perfectly honest. He wins the throw-in, which is brilliant. But, after that, he gets a couple of blocks in here or there. But, could you get another forward in there? I'm not sure. Maybe someone else shouldn't need to play. And maybe Aidan O'Shea's best impact is coming off the bench, in my opinion. So, James Carr was lively in the first half, hit 2 points and had a decent first half, but faded big time in the second half. Obviously not a usual starter for this Mayo team. Michael Plunkett was okay, getting forward with 2 points. But yeah, just defensively, they were all over the place. They were cut open, with absolute ease. And it was far too easy for that Kerry attack. And the third goal probably typified it, where, Jason Foley's almost, wandering forward. He's no right to be in that position that he's in, but the ball deflects and falls straight to him, and he just puts it into the empty net. And that was really the icing on the cake for Kerry there. I mean, Jason Foley's nearly on his way to the bar there to get points before the game ends, and then he just finds himself in the square, rolls it into the empty net. So yeah, Finn's here says no surprises there. We always back in finals. The pressure is now on to Bear Galway next. If we back that in, should be the end of Horan part 2, or part 2, you should say, or I should say there. And I don't know. Like, look, do you really say Mayo are gonna not beat Galway on the basis of this game? It is one game. I still think Mayo have looked resolute throughout the entirety of the year. Yes, they have injuries. When you get those players coming back in, like Robbie Henley, like Oisin Mullen, Paddy Durkin, hopefully, obviously Cillian O'Connor coming off the bench was a big plus, and maybe he makes more of an impact in the Galway game as well. So, Mayo are still the front runners for that Galway game, in my opinion. But what you would say is, when you look at how open the Mayo defense was, if they don't have those players back by the time the Galway game comes around, Galway statistically have the best attack in the country across all 4 divisions. If Shane Walsh is fit, they could really cause a lot of problems for Mayo. And when you look at Paul Conroy's performance today for Galway, he'll be licking his lips as well, looking at Mayo. He really, really well. And without Jeremy O'Connor, Mayo just lacked that edge in midfield. That I don't really think they had it. Matthew Ruan was all right, but generally, probably missing his partner in crime there. So, Kerry were just far better, and it was just really, really comfortable and an absolute demolition job in the end from Kerry. Looks like a Kildare Dublin Leinster final. That will be a good match. If it is Kildare Dublin, we'll obviously see. what happens there. But yeah, in terms of this game, Kerry in the end, dominant. And look, I'll be curious to know your thoughts in the comments down below from Mayo supporters and from Kerry supporters. If you're a Mayo fan, do you look into this game too much? What do you think? It was a couple of weeks ago I backed Mayo to win the All-Ireland, and I've definitely flip-flopped on that prediction now. I haven't seen them in the last couple of weeks because, I just don't really, I know you have other players to come back into that defensive line, but worrying times. And, Mayo hitting the post 6 times today, which, is incredible. You feel like Mayo is the only county that can happen to. Honestly, you just do. Do you know what I mean? And it might sound harsh, but it just seems to be that way with Mayo a lot of the time. And it wouldn't have made a difference in the end. I mean, the 6 points would have made it, instead of a 15-point game, it would have been a 9-point game. So it wouldn't have made a difference at all. But it is quite an unusual statistic. And I don't know if that's ever happened at Croke Park before, where a team has hit the post 6 times in one game. I'm not sure, but quite incredible stuff there. But for Kerry, surely, if you're a Kerry fan, you must be feeling like this is the year. You must be, because if they don't win the All-Ireland this year, you'd wonder what they need to do to win it, because Dublin are in transition and won't win it, in my opinion. Tyrone have had a lot of players opting out this year, and clearly you'd wonder what's going on there. And Mayo just with their injuries and with their record in All-Ireland finals in recent years, and with the fact that with those injuries, I just don't think they quite look there. So surely, unless you're looking at an Armagh, Donegal maybe to go on a bit of a run, maybe, or something like that, a surprise package. But even at that, you'd surely fancy Kerry to deal with them. So you'd have to, at this moment in time, back Kerry to win the All-Ireland. The clear and away favourites, no doubt about it. Viable Solutions says hit the post 6 times and scoring 2 home goals. Mayo keep breaking records. Yeah. It's just, it's crazy stuff. It's crazy stuff. And look, we'll see what happens for Mayo. I'd still back them to win Connacht, but yeah, they will need to get those players back quickly into their defence if they, want to be winning Connacht championships, All-Irelands, all the rest. So a lot of work needs to be done for Mayo and James Horan's men. The game against Galway isn't too far away as well. I think it's at the end of the month. So big game coming up for Mayo. And for Kerry, they'll obviously, they're not playing until the start of May. And, their next significant test will be in probably All-Ireland quarterfinals, let's be honest. So, yeah, Kerry comfortable in the end, 3-19. Mayo, 13 points. A demolition job in the end for the men from Kerry, and for Mayo, massive work for James Horan's men. Yeah, let me know your comments in the description or in the comments down below. Subscribe if you're new. Smash the like button if you haven't already. And I'll see you all in the next one. The football review show with Matthew Hurley of the GAA Statsman podcast will be out tomorrow. So let me know if you have any questions or anything like that, and we'll certainly discuss those topics. So yeah, cheers anyone who tuned in, and I'll see you all later.